Wagwan pussies, hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you 20 tips that I wish that I knew when I first started skateboarding, so let's get straight into number one. Okay, so the first one ties into the mini ramp a little bit, and that is that all your fears, all the things you're scared of when it comes to skateboarding is gonna diminish over time. Like these things, you always think, will I ever be able to go down this ramp? Will I ever be able to try this trick? And these things all come into your head and they stick with you, but just know that the more you do and the more you ride your skateboard, even if you're not doing the scary stuff, the more comfortable you will become and the less scary these obstacles will seem to you over time. Maybe you've heard the term exposure therapy. Well, that's exactly what this is. The more time you have on the board, the easier it's going to be to conquer these fears. I'm going to run through these tips fairly quickly, so that's number one. Let's get on to number two. So number two is one that really got me when I was younger, and that is that your setup, it really does not matter, especially when you're fresh off the boat into the skateboarding world. When I was younger, I used to think, oh, if I had these wheels, it would make me better. If I had this board, these trucks, then it would make me a better skateboarder. Truth is, that is just not the case. The more you think about and worry about what's on your board, the less time you're spending thinking about and focusing on the tricks and the stuff that you want to accomplish in skateboarding, that it's only going to take your mind away from what really matters. When I was a kid, I would always stress about not having a good skateboard because I grew up super poor. I'd have like a 30-pound complete from the local supermarket that was absolutely terrible. But after worrying and fretting about what I have, I did come to terms with it, and I actually managed to learn most of my tricks on a really cheap, really crappy skateboard. Then over time, as you get better and the other skaters see that you're putting the work and the effort in, they started handing me down parts like boards, trucks, wheels, and eventually I did manage to get enough money to build my own skateboard like this and even start my own brand. So just focus on the tricks, focus on riding the board and having fun, and all the other parts and bits of business will come in the future. Alright, okay, so number three. Now, this is a question that I get asked all the goddamn time, and to be fair, I'm guilty of asking it myself quite a few times when I was younger as well. Whenever a new skateboarder would come to the skate park and be showing some nice gnarly tricks, I'd be asking them, what's your best trick? Now, we all know as skateboarders, once you get into things, that your best trick for you and your hardest trick might be something that's so easy for someone else and vice versa. Skateboarding is so individual to the person that you could be really good at kick flips and tray flips and flip tricks and then not want to skate the pool. And someone could be really good at shredding it around the pool, but not have the technical ability to do flip tricks every single time like some other skaters. Obviously, it's going to be different for everybody, but nobody has a technical best trick, like something that I could spend hours and hours learning, like for example, the hard flip. A new skater might come along, not be able to kick flip, and then do the hard flip first try. Everybody has things they're good at, everybody has things they're bad at, and that ties into the fact that if you see someone doing tricks that you want to do and they find it easy and you're not, don't get yourself beaten up and down, because you might just be good at something else that you haven't yet tried. So don't let other people's progression get in the way of your own. And I want you to remember this quote right here: comparison is the thief of joy. You'll only lose happiness by comparing yourself to others. So just focus on you and you'll be better than ever. Okay, right, moving over to the stairs and putting my drink to the side. This next one kind of plays off that last one we just spoke about, and that is, it doesn't matter what you skate, just have fun. You might be someone that loves watching street parts and wants to skate a stair set all the time. You want to hit the handrails, and you also might be someone that just loves to do the cruising, cutting around the bowls and doing all that pumping around and stuff like that. Or you could be someone that wants to hit the mini ramp or just practice flat ground tricks and freestyle stuff. There are so many different ways to skateboard that you can really make it your own. Just don't get yourself bogged down and worried about, oh, I can skate this, but I can't skate that. Just like I said in the previous tip, if you want to skate a rail, practice the rail. Just know that's one of the scariest things, and you likely won't have that many people skating it with you. But the one tip I can give you if you want to get good at all of these things is practice your riding around, practice your flip tricks, because if you can do the flip tricks and stuff on the floor consistently, you're going to be able to bring a nice kick flip to a board slide or a kick flip into a 50-50 way easier than someone that just wants the kick flip 50-50. Get the fundamentals first, build your way up, but just know that whatever you're skating, whether it be ledge, bowl, mini ramp, flat ground, just have fun and don't worry about others. Okay, this next one's going to be a real quick one, just playing off the back of that last one. It also doesn't matter what kind of tricks you want to do. If you want to go into freestyle tricks, do bonelesses, no complies, you'll see people online call these circus tricks, same with like double flips and stuff like that. But just know that they're very much my favorite kind of trick, and people say that to me all the time. You've just got to think, am I having fun? Yes. Well, these are the tricks that I'm going to do. And don't let anyone tell you what you should or shouldn't do in skateboarding. It's all about freedom at the end of the day. On to the next one. Right, so the next one is probably what is the most off-putting thing about most people when it comes to skateboarding, and that is injuries. Now, I'm going to be here to tell you that injuries are part of the process. There are a bunch of things you can do to mitigate the chance of it happening, like wearing yourself an ankle brace, making sure you stretch out before a session. Obviously, these aren't going to be the things that stop all injuries from happening. In skateboarding, it's a very dangerous sport. You're always going to have stuff happen to you, but it's just about reacting to it. If you fall, don't make a huge scene about it. Assess the damage, think about it for a second. If you can get up, if you can walk, get up, walk around a bit, see how you feel in 5 minutes. If you really can't walk, obviously yes, call for help. Don't be trying to look tough just for the sake of it. If you've broken an arm or something, obviously seek help when that happens, but just know it's gonna happen, expect it. Watch some videos on how to fall properly, like falling on your butt and then pushing yourself backwards, because doing that is gonna help you massively. And sometimes the falls can just look way worse than they are. For example, the other day I was skating the bench, I'll put the clip on screen now. I hit primo when I landed on the bench, board flew up, smacked me on the head. Didn't even hurt.
Ooh, you're hard.
Though, like ones like that, they look really bad, but that one didn't really even hurt. I was completely fine. And then you see one where I fall on my butt and I'm like screaming in pain. So it can be either way. But anyway, that's that tip. Just expect the injuries. Just do what you can to avoid them and don't get too bummed out when they do happen. All right, so the next one is whatever you choose to do, whichever way you choose to skate, there are always going to be people that talk shit, and there are always going to be people that give you hate for no goddamn reason apart from the fact that they just don't feel good enough themselves. You'll find, and this is in my personal experience, that 99% of the people that talk shit on others are just doing it because they're either projecting their own unhappiness onto other people, or they just have their own insecurities and they're just trying to make themselves feel better. This isn't obviously always the case. Don't think that you're immune to criticism just because someone's hating on you. Just make sure that if they are doing it in a constructive way, you hear them out, and if you kind of agree with it, try and improve your skateboarding. Maybe someone's saying that, oh, that trick looks really crappy doing it there, maybe you should try it here. If they're offering you some constructive criticism, great. If they're just saying, yo, that boneless is whack, don't skate freestyle, then you shouldn't listen to that person. Just know that whatever you choose to do, there's always going to be people that give you shit. Anyway, on to the next one.
It's really cute.
Right, so filming yourself. Now, even if you don't want to get into content creation, even if you don't want to post this stuff anywhere, filming your own tricks, especially in slow motion, is going to help you really get down in the weeds and find out what you're doing wrong, how you can improve on it. For example, if you're watching a tutorial on how to ollie, having a clip of your own attempts that you can watch next to the tutorial to see what you're doing right compared to them and what you're doing wrong is going to help you massively figuring out how to do the trick, and also tracking your progress. For example, if you start filming yourself now, a year from now, you're going to have all these clips of you learning things and getting them and then eventually landing the tricks. I would recommend starting a folder of all the tricks you land, all the new accomplishments you do, so that in a year's time you can put them all together and put like my 1 year skate progression, next year my 2 year skate progression. Sometimes it can be difficult to see if you've actually improved. You wonder, am I even getting any better? But if you film stuff, you can really see the difference. For example, for me, every single year I like to set myself a goal of landing 100 new tricks. I did 100 last year. I'm on trick like number 48 this year, and this has improved my skateboarding astronomically. So I'd highly recommend doing something like that. It doesn't have to be on that scale, but still, just film yourself skateboarding. It really helps. All right, so the next one is freestyle tricks. Now, I've touched on this in the previous points, but say you've just learned to ollie, say you've just learned to shove it. The kickflip now seems like it's quite far away. The drop-in seems too scary. You need something to keep up the motivation so that you know that you're still progressing regardless of what tricks you're doing. The kickflip can take so long that having something like a boneless or a no comply where you could take your foot off the board and do it with almost no risk and learn it in your own pace, because you can really break down these tricks step by step and make them really easy for you. There's plenty of tutorials on this channel for those, by the way. Just look up Dan Webb's no comply tricks. There's so many of them. Learning those will keep up your motivation, and they'll also tie into helping you with other tricks. May not seem like it at the time, but the more tricks and the more progress you do on the board, the better you're going to be on the board. And then the kickflip and the other tricks that you want will come with time. Right sound now. Right sound now? Right, so now, this is one that I have actually neglected a lot in my time on the skateboard, and that is watching other people skateboarding. Now, up until about 3 years ago, I never really watched any skateboarding. I didn't even have internet until I was like 18 because the place that I grew up was so crappy. So the only time I would ever get to watch stuff like this was at friends' houses. But if you watch other people's skate clips, then you can learn so much about what tricks you didn't even know existed. Like, for example, if you watch people like Andy Anderson, Richie Jackson, regardless of what you might think of these people outside of skateboarding, skateboarding, they have some serious creativity on the board, and that can really bleed into your own skateboarding. You might see something and think, oh, I would have never thought about skating that until I saw this video. Like if you wanted to skate a traffic cone and just some weird ass stuff, these can really open up your inventory of tricks. Or someone like JFax tear up a mini ramp to get some motivation. There are so many different skaters and different niches that you can find to give yourself motivation. Just know that the more you watch, the more you'll know, and the easier you'll be able to learn new tricks. All right, so this one is going to be a quick one. Don't know why I keep doing that, pretty cringe. So the community aspect of skateboarding is actually really, really great. Obviously there are some people that are going to give you shit, but the majority of people are actually going to be there to help you. If you're a younger skater and you want help with a trick, don't hesitate in asking an older skater for help. If you're an older skater and you see a newer skater riding around, maybe they're getting in people's way and they don't quite know the etiquette of the skate park yet, don't get mad at them, just educate them. And if you educate them a few times and they're still doing it, then you can get mad at them. But just try go easy on the new skateboarders, because we want to keep as many of them in the sport as possible. And if you've got a local skate shop, go there, chat to the people, get to know everyone in the skate scene, because the more people you know, the more friends you're going to have and the more motivation you're going to have to skate, because you've got people hitting you up, want to go skate here, want to go skate there. And like I said about watching other people skate, seeing them do it in real life is even better than watching them on video. So the community aspect is definitely something you want to get involved in if you can. I know not every skate park has this, but if you've got it, make the most of it, please. Now, a common problem that I see with new skateboarders is a lot of people don't know what the tricks are, how to pronounce them, what trick equals which. I mean, I did a series on my channel recently, well, about 2 years ago now, called Skate Maths, where I did, for example, kickflip plus shove it equals varial flip, but there's an easier way you can learn these tricks. Play skateboarding games, Sessions, Skater XL, the old Tony Hawk's games. The more you play these, the more you're gonna learn tricks. That's how I learned pretty much every trick that I know when it comes to the naming of such. Obviously with grinds and stuff, I'm still learning, as I never did grinds when I was growing up, but the more you play these games, the more you watch other people skateboarding, the more you know. And a simple tip that really helped me that I didn't actually learn till a few years ago, I'm embarrassing, but I've got to admit it right here, that if your front is facing a ledge, that's front side. If your back is facing a ledge, it's back side. If when you're spinning, your front is facing the way you're spinning, it's front side. If when you do a 180, your back is the way you're spinning, back side. Simple, but hard to grasp at first, so don't beat yourself up about it, just learn it over time. So this next one is something you want to know ASAP in skateboarding, and that is pebbles and small tiny curb ledges like this are going to be your worst enemy, especially small stones. If you're riding along and you hit a stone, you're going to go flying. Like if you come over here real quick, you don't want to be riding through stuff like this, because if you hit a pebble going through this, you're going to hit that and you're going to go flying off the board. Just make sure you dust and sweep any area you're going to skate, just to avoid injuries a bit better. Pebbles are a skateboarder's worst enemy. Okay, so this next one is that climbing frames can help you learn so many tricks. And I know you might be thinking, Webz, what the hell are you on about? Well, I did a lesson with one of my students the other day. She had literally landed one shove it in her entire life. We went from landing only one shove it a few days before to landing 10 shove it's in a row, just because she couldn't commit originally. And then I had her hold things like this and the climbing frame over there where it has 2 bars. Got her to do a few shove it's where she could hold herself up in the air, let the board spin and then land, and then slowly moved her further and further away from the bar so that she didn't need it, but she had it there for a bit of security. And then after about 20 minutes of using the bars over there, which I'm putting on the screen right now as B-roll, she landed 10 shove-it's in a row within half an hour. So I highly recommend trying that. It's how I learned how to kickflip, and it's how I got over a lot of my commitment issues when it comes to skateboarding. Definitely an underrated tip, that one. So different skate parks and visiting different areas to skate can really expand your bag of tricks, because for example, you might grow up in a skate park that doesn't really have a lot. You might just have like a driveway, a ledge and a rail, and then you come to a skate park like this that has a bowl and a pool, and you can really try new things, and it will expand your knowledge of skateboarding and what you can try and what you're good at. You might be good at something that you didn't even know existed because you don't have one at your local skate park. Just traveling to new things, seeing unique obstacles, and you might think you've seen it all, but trust me, there's always a skate park out there that has an obstacle that no one ever thought was possible and no one ever knew existed. So definitely try these things. I'm putting on screen right now a few of the weirdest skate parks that I've been to and seen some weird obstacles, because trust me, there's so much weird and wonderful stuff out there. Just expand your knowledge by visiting many different places. So the next one is helping skaters can be really rewarding. All jokes aside though, if you see a new skateboarder and they're trying to drop in, if you can give them some advice, help them along their way, just seeing them get the trick. Like I've seen some skaters that get so hyped, like younger kids, when you teach them something, they get so hyped on landing it. It's just a feeling that honestly can't be beaten by anything. That's why I teach certain kids how to do certain tricks, because when you get them to the point where they actually figure it out, priceless. I'm sure if you have kids, you know this experience, but for me, who doesn't have kids, helping someone new to skateboarding learn, honestly, a feeling that cannot be beaten. Highly recommend doing it for others. Right, the next one. So the next one is making friends at the skate park will stick with you for life. For as long as people stay skateboarding and stay doing these things, they're always going to be coming here. They're always going to have similar interests to you. All my friends that I've had since I was a very little kid that I still have now, by the way, if you have friends that have been with you since you were like 11, 12 and you're now in your mid-20s and they're still your friends, that is invaluable in today's day and age. So many people are stabbing each other in the back. So many people are throwing each other under the bus. So if you've got people that have stuck with you your entire life, hold on to those people with everything that you've got. And if you're all skateboarding together and you're all learning new stuff, this can be the common ground. Maybe you don't have time to do other things. Maybe you want to do exercise. Skateboarding, great exercise, great socialization. Get out here, make friends and stick with them. And if you've got good friends, never do anything to jeopardize that. And especially, don't start scootering. Help! Help! I made it. Okay, so this next one is for the beginners as well. There are tons of things that you can do to help you learn faster, like product-wise, that can really help. Like there's the soft trucks, there's the skate trainers, you can do carpet boarding. People keep commenting on my video saying you can just put tennis balls on your wheel, like you cut a tennis ball in half and put them on your wheels in order to simulate skate trainers. We didn't have really any of this stuff when I was a kid for learning, so I can't really speak on how good it is for a beginner from my personal experience, but having seen other beginners use these things, I can tell you they really do work. Like having something where the wheels don't move and you can get a trick committed to without having to worry about the board shooting out. I've seen a bunch of people comment and say that this isn't going to help, this isn't going to help you learn on an actual board, but I've seen firsthand that it actually does. So if you're one of the people that's a bit more worried about committing to tricks and progressing, definitely try out some of those products. I would recommend the skate trainers, the soft trucks, and you can even make a balance board at home just by like filling up a 2-liter bottle of water and putting a blank deck on top of it. It works really well and it's actually really fun. So definitely try those things. And we've got one more tip left. So let's get into it. So the final one is probably the most fun, and that is especially for people that live in the UK and places where it rains a lot, like Canada, carpet boarding. Take the trucks and wheels off your board during rainy seasons, or if you've got a spare older board, even better. You don't have to take this one apart, and then just put that board on a piece of carpet. You can even put a little bit of carpet, like a square, outside and practice it there if you don't want to piss off the neighbors with the noise, but you can do that during the day. It's perfectly legal, and you can learn a bunch of tricks on the carpet board. You can learn to kickflip, shove it, free shove it, big spin, 180s. You can do all sorts of stuff on a carpet board, and it's just fun. Like when you go from skating every day in the summer to not being able to as much in the winter because it's so rainy, and especially if you don't have an indoor skate park like me, I literally had to build my own indoor place just to be able to skate during the winter outside of carpet boarding. But yeah, just being able to stay tuned up and staying on top of things and keeping yourself used to popping and scooping the board, it matters so much. So with all that being said, that's 20 tips that I wish I knew when I started skateboarding. Let me know any tips that I missed out in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.